The deep dark, mangrove swamps, the Allay, bundles and archaeology will all be added to Minecraft soon, but when will we get what? Some will be released tomorrow, some will probably be released in December, and the rest will be released in 2023 or later. So here's an overview of when what will be added to the game. My name is MagentaLewi, and if you want to support a hard-working small YouTuber grow, then please do consider liking the video, or maybe even subscribing if you haven't done that yet. The first update is Minecraft 1.19, the Wild Update, which will come out tomorrow. The first feature of this update is the Deep Dark, which is a new biome that generates between Y-1 and Y-64, and is recognizable by the patches of sculk blocks. No mobs other than the Warden should be able to spawn here, and it's here you can find the ancient cities. Sculk blocks include Sculk, Sculk Catalyst, Sculk Veins, Sculk Sensors, and the Sculk Shrieker. Sculk drops experience when broken. Sculk Catalyst spreads Sculk blocks when a mob dies next to it. Sculk Veins are kinda like Glow Lichen, just with a different look and no light. Sculk Sensors detect sounds from 9 blocks or less away, and it can detect players when sneaking or walking on wool. Sculk Sensors also activate the Sculk Shriekers. The Sculk Shriekers will shriek, give the player the darkness effect, and then summon the Warden. The Warden is a new boss in Minecraft which emerges from the ground when summoned by the Sculk Shriekers. It is blind but will chase whatever it can hear, and it can also smell everything that is close enough. When aggravated enough, it will charge the source of the sound. And if it can't reach the source, it will use a ranged attack. It has 250 hearts of health and does 15 hearts of melee damage and 5 hearts of ranged damage in normal difficulty, so this is a very dangerous beast. The Ancient Cities is a new area that spawns at multiple spots around your world in the Deep Dark. It has a bunch of new structures partially covered in wool and full of new loot. This loot includes the disc fragments, which you can craft into disc number 5, and it also has echo shards, which can be crafted into a recovery compass, which will show you the last place where you died. In the middle there's a square made from reinforced deep slate, which is considered to be or become a portal by the community. The next new feature of Minecraft 1.19 is the Mangrove Swamp. This is also a new biome with new trees, blocks and mobs. The mangrove trees has new leaves, a red wood, roots growing from the tree, it has muddy roots, a propagule, and it is covered in moss and vines. The propagule is the sapling that grows on this tree, which grows on the leaves of the tree, and it will drop down to grow from both water and dry land. The ground in the mangrove swamps are covered in mud, which can be combined with roots into muddy roots. It can be combined with wheat into packed mud, and it can be dried into clay with dripstone. Packed mud can further be crafted into mud bricks and all its variants. In the mangrove swamp you will be able to find frogs, which is a new passive mob that also spawns in normal swamps. If fed slime balls, they'll mate, and one of them will find a water block to lay frog spawn on. Frog spawn then hatches after approximately 30 seconds, spawning 2 to 6 tadpoles down into the water. The tadpoles can be picked up in a bucket and will grow into frogs. If they grow up in a temperate climate, they'll turn orange. They will turn into green frogs in a cold climate and white frogs in a warm climate. The frogs will eat small slimes, leaving slime on the ground, and they'll also eat small magma cubes, leaving frog light on the ground. If the frog is orange, the frog light will be the ogre kind, which is yellow. If the frog is green, it will leave the verdant frog light, which is green. And if the frog is white, it will leave the pearlescent frog light, which is purple. The final new mob in this update is the Allay, which is designed to help the player collect items. It is found in pillager outposts and in the woodland mansions. When given an item, it will collect said item to the player, and if it hears a note block playing, it will deliver its items to that instead of the player. It cannot be killed by its owner, but it will panic if it gets hurt by something else. In this update we will also now get boats with chests. They are crafted from a boat and a chest, which will help you carry lots of items across water. It will interact with hovers like all other chests, but with a greater reach, so in theory it can now be emptied into 4 different hovers at once, and actually filled by 12 different hovers at the same time. The final feature of this update is the goat horn. Yes, now we will finally get it. It drops when a goat rams into logs, stone, ores or packed ice, which are the only blocks that a goat will ram into, but they can also be found in pillager outposts. It comes in 8 different variations, which all play a different sound, 4 from the normal goat and 4 from the screaming goats. Next up is Minecraft 1.20, which will probably be released in December this year if they keep up with their regular schedule. All of these are not 100% confirmed, but they are pretty likely to be added in the next update. First up is the bundle. This should have been a part of 1.19 or maybe actually already in 1.17 or 1.18, but it got delayed because of technical issues. It is used to carry 64 different items in one item slot. So you can actually carry 64 different items in one item slot instead of using many item slots to carry less items. It is crafted by string and rabbit hide. Next up is the copper horns. They were shortly in Minecraft Bedrock, but they have now been completely removed from the game, sadly. They are crafted with a goat horn and copper. Each variant of the goat horn would result in a different copper horn, which can play 3 different sounds when crouching, looking up, and using it normally. This will probably be added in the next update, as it was almost fully developed in this update. For this update in the Bedrock edition. Next up is fletching table functionality. This should have been added in 1.15, but maybe 1.20 will be the update that finally adds a functionality to this workbench. It will probably be useful for repairing bows and crossbows and a cheaper way to craft some of those special arrows that we got in that update as well. Next up is archaeology, which should have been added in 1.17 but sadly got delayed. It is a fairly developed feature, so it will probably be a part of 1.20. It would add brushes which you could use to find valuables in ceramic shards in gravel and dirt. The ceramic shards can be turned into decorative clay pots. Another feature that should have been a part of 1.19 is an upgrade to the biome atmosphere in general, especially with the birch forest. This should have been a part of 1.19, but it got scrapped with an excuse of it just being concept art. But they did mention that they really wanted to add this, so I would say that it was actually planned to happen. This made the fans very furious, so it will probably be added in 1.20 with fallen trees, shelf fungi, new flowers and naturally spawning rocks. This is only for the birch forest. They would also add other biome features to the other biomes, so everything would get an atmospherical upgrade. The final feature that I think might get added in 1.20 is the fireflies. These should have been a part of 1.19 and would have given an amazing atmosphere to the swamps and the mangrove swamps, and they should have been the food for the frogs. But they got scrapped because some specific fireflies, are poisonous to some specific frogs, so they didn't want to add it to the game. But hey, so are cookies for parrots, and they just removed that feature. They didn't remove the cookies, they just made it so the parrots couldn't eat the cookies. And well, wolves are also poisonous to sheep, so to speak, so I don't know, I think this is just a bad excuse, and most of the community did as well. The community got really mad about this, so I think they will actually add this in 1.20 and then just remove the feature of the frogs actually eating the fireflies, because people really want these atmospherical updates to the game. And finally, the unplanned 1.21 update. I'm guessing this will probably come out in 2023, and some of these features might get pushed to even later. These features are not confirmed, but might get added since they have been teased for the community before. First up is an upgrade to the Savannah. This was teased at Minecon Earth in 2018 and will include baobab trees, ostriches and termites. I would really like to see this getting implemented at some time, as I think the Savannah is just a different looking and actually more boring version of the plains biome, but hey, that's just my opinion. The next feature is an upgrade to the desert, which was also teased at Minecon Earth 2018, and this would include palm trees, oases, and meerkats. I know the community would really love to see an upgrade to the desert, so I think this is very, very likely for the 1.21 update. The final biome feature that might get added in 1.21 is an upgrade to the Badlands. This was teased alongside mountains and swamps at Minecon Live 2019, so this is actually the last biome teaser that hasn't been implemented into the game yet from Minecon Live 2019. This will include tumbleweeds, cacti with flowers and vultures, and I'd love to see this upgrade to the Badlands as it would add a lot of life to the biome. Next up is Seasons, which is a feature that is added into many modded versions of Minecraft, and this was teased all the way back at Minecon in 2013 and has been mentioned by the team multiple times since then. It's not that likely as it would change the game a lot, but it never got scrapped and has been mentioned a lot of times since 2013. It would change the color of the leaves and the length of night and day based on real life seasons, and would be a very atmospherical and very nice update to the game, although it might have some implementations that would be really difficult to get into the vanilla version of the game. A new, or well, sort of new mob that might get added to 1.21 is the Illusioner, and especially getting added into the raids. This is a ranged illager with spells and a bow. The spells include causing blindness to the player and creating false duplicates of itself, so this is a very tough mob to fight. And it was actually created back in 1.12 but never got used because, well, I think it was too OP to be honest. But it might get added soon as it was mentioned again in 2019 and it has been aesthetically changed in the 2 latest updates, so I do think that the Mojang team is actually planning on adding this mob to the game officially. The final feature that might be a part of 1.21 that I think is likely is the potential of a new dimension in the ancient cities. There is a rumor going around that the reinforced deep slate will actually be a portal of some sorts, and that is totally what they want us to think as well. The Mojang team really wants us to think that this is going to be a portal. I don't think it's that likely seeing how slow Mojang develop new features, and this might just be too big of a task for them to do in the 6 months time frame that they've given themselves for the latest updates. But if they give themselves more time for each update, we might see this in 1.21 or a later update. Anyways, the reinforced deep slate must have some use in the game, so portal or not, there will definitely be added a feature to this new block very, very soon. And with that, I hope you found all of this information useful, and if you did, then please do like the video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Check out the links in the description where you'll find links for all my socials, my Discord server, and the Discord server for my Minecraft server, Eradicraft, which you might be able to join. With all that out of the way, thank you so much for watching. Bye!